Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to The King's Speech. And I'm super excited to get into this read-through video. And unlike last time, there is no big delay between the time when the video comes out. So no big speech or introduction this time. We're diving straight into Battle Angel Alita Volume 2. Whoop. What happened to... So I'm just going to quickly open it up again because it seems like it closed on me. One quick thing before I dive into it. So like the other video read-throughs, I'm going to try to cover at minimum 2 chapters, and then depending on timing and everything else, I'll try to see if I can do 3 chapters for this read-through. So I'm going to aim for making this about 45 minutes. So depending on what the time is like, when I start reaching that point, I'll determine if I want to keep going or what I'm going to do from there. But like I said, without further ado, let's pick up where we left off in the fight with Makaku with Chapter 7, Tears of an Angel. So Alita goes, "You've been eating away with a whole lot of nonsense. Eating people's brains, taking over their bodies, but you'll never set foot on the surface again. I'm gonna bury you down here." Well, hold on. And then which was it going? Yeah. So Akaku's losing it at Alita's announcement. So he goes, "Every living person consumes other lives, steals from the weak, and dumps its waste into the sewer, no exceptions. You hypocrites cannot stand in judgment of me." So Alita's like, and she goes right after him with an elbow attack, and he goes, "You're just after the bounty on my head, like everyone else." So Makaku goes in with a roundhouse kick, and Alita sees it coming, and she steps back, and she goes, "Wrong," and she puts her foot, and she holds it with one hand, and she stops his kick. And you see his kick just plowing her, or as she's holding his leg, it's going around, and she's plowing a furrow into the ground. And she stops him. Then she just, with brute force, just slams him down, and she trips him over. And he falls with an "ah!" And Alita goes, "I have no memories of the past. I have no idea who the real me actually is. I still don't really know what it means to be alive. Is it ugly or beautiful? Is it a sin or a source of pride? I can't tell. But someday I want to know these things. And the reason I became a hunter-warrior is so that I can find my true self in the midst of battle. I'm not interested in tawdry rewards." Oh man, falling more and more in love with it. This is just, And she goes on top of that, "I have faith. I believe that every human can choose her own way of life. We can choose to be ugly or beautiful." So she does the superheated attack again, and she slices right across Makaku's midsection. And he goes, "Better escape." And then he ejects his head from the body right as it explodes. And Alita lands and goes, "How do you like that, King of the Worms?" She just flips her hair back with her hand. So then she hears his voice going, "Gwahaha! You're as pure as a knife. I like your purity. I cannot be like you." And he's like, he just doesn't know when to give up. I'm tired of hearing that gross felony voice of yours. Come on out and I'll rip that disgusting long tongue out of your throat." So he comes out from underneath and circles around her like a snake and wraps her up. And he goes, "Don't whip out that plasma just yet." She's like, "What?" And he's like, "We're standing atop a prehistoric fuel station, a reservoir of metal hydride. Haven't you noticed that the heat of that explosion is releasing an awful lot of hydrogen? It's detonating gas. If ignited, it'll blow this whole underground shaft sky high." And Alita's like, "Don't get so cocky. I don't need my plasma jet to dispatch a worm. My magnetic power should be enough to rip you apart. So you see her arm just coming. She rips herself out of it. And then she goes, take this. And as she's about to land a blow on his face, you see that Makaku, like half of Makaku's face, is starting to melt apart. And then Alita's thinking, the charge from the blast already did fatal damage. And he's like, it's too late for me. But I'm in bliss, Alita, for at least I get to die in the arms of my lover. It's like, we'll both be blown to kingdom come. So you see the little spike at the end of his tail. You see the circuitries come loose because the spike's been bent, and it's sparking. Next panel, you see a huge explosion in the sky. It goes, yow! It's like fire from the drainage system. What's going on? It's over at the processing plant to the east. It's like, Doc, is that? It's like, woof! It's like, Alita! So you see down below, you follow the smoke trail back down below. So you see, like, the spherical bubble as Alita's, like, holding back the explosion. It's like, and you have Makaku going, what is this place? Strangely peaceful. And then Alita goes, these explosion flames are a type of plasma, so I can block them with my magnetic field. It will allow me to speak with you for a brief moment. Our bodies were built by human beings. So why do you take this monstrous form? It's like, monstrous? Because that was what I wanted. Oh, we're getting a Makaku flashback. So you go flashback to the sewers and you see a long tunnel. And you see, my mother gave birth to me in a toilet and flushed me down here with all the shit. I grew up within decay and filth. So you see a rat and you see an arm snatch down and grab it and then bite his head off with a crunch. And you see this dirty little boy with hair just everywhere going up to one of the sewer pipes and drinking some water. So he goes up to one of the sewer grates and you see him, with this skinny little face and like these big bug eyes looking out at the bright city up ahead. And he goes, oh, how I gaze at the bright lights and bustle on the surface with longing. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Then you see someone looking down below going, hey, looks like we got a whopper of a sewer rat. He's like, it's like, yeah. Like, yeah, he's running that way, burn him out. So it looks like they took a little flamethrower and blasted him while he was looking. So you see him splashing through the sewer water. So you see that half of his arm has been melted off and a bit of his face has been melted away. And he goes, my injuries got infected and my body essentially festered and rotted away. It's like, I don't want to die. It's like, nobody notices that I'm dying down here. Nobody will ever stop to think about me. I'm going to die and just turn into just more garbage. Someone speak to me. I'm here. I'm alive down here. Someone notice me. So you go black screen and you see him waking up in what looks like a tank of some kind, and someone knocks on the tank and puts their arm against it and goes, you're a lucky one. I scooped you up out of the filth and saved your life. But sadly, your flesh had decomposed so much as to be unusable. So instead, I will give you a brand new body. Show me the desire that exists within your heart, and I shall craft the form that best embodies it. So then you see Alita thinking, a doctor with a symbol on his forehead, just like Ito's? And she's like, where is that doctor now? And then Makaku goes, I don't know. I haven't seen him since. With the worm-like body he gave me, I joyously rushed up to the surface. I stole other bodies to live and devoured brains to ease my pain. I destroyed just to leave signs that I had lived. I was invincible. No one dared even attempt to stop me. No one answered my call. It was no different from when I was dying in the sewers. And then I met you, Alita. It's like, hate me, strike me down, burn my soul to cinders. He's like, ah, yes. It's like, at last, my true wish is granted. So Makaku fades away, and you go out back to the garbage dump. You have Alita making her way out, going, I don't know if it's a sin or something to be proud of. I don't know if it's hate or mourning. All I know is that my tears flowed for him. God damn, that was a chapter. Alright, short chapter, but alright, now to the next one. So, chapter 8, The Boy Who Saw Blue Sky. It's like, the clouds are so pretty. It's like, wait, where am I? So you see Alita lying on her back in what looks like an old abandoned warehouse. She thinks, what am I doing sleeping here? You see a little butterfly that comes in, lands on her nose, and then takes off. He's like, who? Oh no, sorry, butterfly hears a noise and then it takes off. And you see someone watching like this being like, what you doing down there? And she's like, I was just wondering the same thing. It's like, ha 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 ha. She's like, stop laughing, give me a hand. He's like, okay, here. And he gives her a hand. And then Alita, and I think either Alita was too heavy or something, but she ends up pulling him back and they both fall down. And he goes, geez, how much do you weigh? He's like, huh? And then Alita's like, oh man, why did I hide my arms? I have nothing to be ashamed of. She's blushing. He's like, ha. It's like, well, I gotta admit, this sure does feel nice. He's like, hey, you want to go out on the roof? The view up there is incredible. Come on, this way. So the mysterious stranger takes her up onto the roof, and he goes, there, that's Zalem. And then they're looking at the giant, floating conical city. And he goes, it takes my breath away every single time. When you just stare at it for minutes at a time, you feel it sucking your very soul upward. I wonder what kind of people live up there. So when I'm bored, I like coming here to gaze at Zalem. This old empty factory on the edge of town's been my secret playground since I was a kid. And he's like, hee hee. And he's like, what? What are you staring at? And she's like, it's funnier to look at your face. And then he's like, whoa, watch out, it's brittle over there. So Alita looks back and he's like, oh. It's like, yeah, I fell from here. She's like, ouch. She's like, that's right. I was going after some bounty targets and followed them to this abandoned factory alone. She flashed back to her kicking a robot through one of the walls as his head goes flying. And some others like, Eep, who is that bitch? He's like, I've got you trapped, Meagle the chemist. Your special homemade drugs have caused dozens of brain deaths. Now it's your turn to face the music. And so these two other cyborgs are like, but boss. And he's like, tests require sacrificial subjects. And now, see the results of my research. What the hell is he doing? So he opens some kind of port, and he goes, wait boss, you just used the... So it looks like he's taken some kind of, I don't know if it's a pill or a battery or something, he's taken some kind of tube, injected it into himself. He goes, and he sees his body break apart and transform. And he looks into this giant, monstrous wolf creature. And his lackeys are like, oh man, he took the werewolf pill. You hear a pleck as both their heads just go flying in a spray of gore. And so it looks like he's lost his mind, so he's just ripping apart his henchmen. Alita's like, a werewolf? It's like, you're not getting away. So they go up to the roof, and they charge at each other. The werewolf's coming at her like this. Alita stops its hand like this. And then I assume she punches right through his hand. And then does a flip and kicks him on the head. And she goes, so much for the werewolf. That was surprisingly easy. So as she steps back down onto the roof, she steps onto the brittle end and collapses below her. and she hits her head on the way down, and that's how she knocked herself out and woke up here. And she's like, okay, so I got sloppy. Am I in a slump? And the stranger's like, whoa, check this out. Hey, come over and see. So they go down to the bottom, to go down a bunch of stairs into this different part of the warehouse. And the stranger's like, nasty, it's a slaughterhouse in here. Looks like a dinosaur went rampaging through the place. And Alita's like, dinosaur? Me? He's like, what do you suppose happened? Alita's like, I bet they were bad guys and a nice hunter warrior wiped them out. He's like, no way, hunters are just after bounties. They need to at least take the heads to exchange for their cash reward. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, and this was really recent work. No wonder things sounded so noisy outside while I was napping. He's like, well, I know what to do. He's like, hey, can you grab that toolbox over there? So he takes the crowbar and he starts breaking apart these cyborg bodies. Alita's like, what are you doing? And he goes, gonna remove the backbone. Alita's like, backbone? He's like, that's right, you can sell them for good money. He's like, come on. And he's trying to work the little metal restraints free. Like, cyborg parts are everywhere in the scrapyard if you can get standard stuff on the cheap. But the backbone, the vertebral column, doesn't have an artificial replacement. Alita's like, stop that! What are you, a thief? He's like, what? He's like, this is basically just a dead body. It's not a crime to scavenge parts. I'm not going to get hung up on the little stuff in the quest for survival. And then, as she's watching it happen, the werewolf smashes his arm through one of the sidings and smashes his way in. And his face is still just a bloody mess, and his arm's broken where Alita snapped it. And you can see the bone jutting out. And he's like, whoa, what is that? Alita's like, he's still alive? It's like, I've got to finish the job. So then Mr. Stranger Man gets all chivalrous and says like, watch out. Alita's like, oh. She's like, eek, I'm so scared. He's like, don't worry, this way. So he starts leading her away. And the werewolf goes, It'll translate it to, you're gonna get it now. And then Alita pushes him face down. And he's like, eek. He's like, whoa. And then her leg goes up behind her to kick his fist. And she smashes it away behind her. And she lets out another kick to his face to finish him off. And as they finally fall face down. Oh. So, looks like you can see like his brain's just leaking out of his ear, out of the werewolf's ear. And so Mr. Chivalry gets up with a lead pipe and he goes, you better learn to behave yourself already, you great brute. And with a giant yell, he smashes down on the werewolf's head. And it goes down. And Alita's, and he's just like, huh? And Alita's like, oh, wow. He's like, ha 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 ha. It's like, oh, come on. It's like, alright, my name's Hugo. Who are you? He's like, I'm Alita. Alita, huh? Weird. That sounds tougher than you look. She's like, hey, lay off. I like it. He's like, fine, fine. It's a nice name. She's like, thanks. He's like, so long. Alita waves goodbye. And she's like, Hugo, huh? I was like, I hope I see him again. Alita's got a crush. That's adorable. So go back to the city and you see some the supposed salesman going, hey buddy, need an oiling? I got fancy silicone oil with Teflon. We'll even throw in a body waxing for free. So they see this cyborg guy and he goes, you know, I could use a tune-up. So that's the spirit, boss. Right this way. It's like, oh, my shoulder's been creaking like hell lately. It's like, oh, you're bone dry right there. It's like, better be thorough. And I take a little oil canister and a little rod. So he sticks the rod down the back of his neck, presses a button and zaps him. He's like, keep an eye out, Tanji. He's like, okay. He's like, what are you? He's like, sorry, buddy, but don't worry. We're not going to kill you. He's like, wait. He's like, ah. He's taking an axe. Ooh. He's like, how'd it go? Like, piece of cake. This'll bag us at least 50 grand. Looks like they hacked him apart and took his spine. And they've got it in one of those containers with, like you know, the movies, like the formaldehyde containers where they have like the preservative stuff. They've got his spine in there. And they're like, thief, give me back my spine. So then you see it calling, and he's like, Ito Repair speaking. He's like, there's a dying guy in the 25th Street alley. Go and help him. It's like, always feels good after you save a life. We'll just ignore that we put them in trouble in the first place. It's like, ha ha ha. So I assume that's Hugo's part of a thieving group, it looks like, who are killing people and taking their spines. So you have Chapter 9. Whoa, this volume's going a lot faster than the first one. Chapter 9, Iron Maiden. Oh, might even end up, because I think there's only 12 chapters in this volume, so I might even end up finishing it today. So you have What a Surprise. You're the one who comes to fix our wind turbine every month, Hugo. So you see Alita sitting on the roof of Ito's shop, and you see Hugo working away on a wind turbine. And he goes, here and another 30 places. I've got to see to by the end of the day. It's like, so you live with the doctor here? Alita's like, yep. He's like, you see, I want to earn all the chips I can pull in so I can buy a trip to Salem. And then Alita's like, I could do this forever, just listening to Hugo talk. The way his eyes look when they stare into the sky, when they stare at the sky, I'm jealous of him. I wish there was a way to get closer to him. And then Gon's just walking from below, and he's like, ha ha, looks like springtime has come for your little Alita. And Ito's like, eavesdropping is a nasty business, Gon. And Gon's like, oh, you make it sound so wicked. I was just enjoying the breeze. He's like, I wondered why Alita seemed to be brighter spirits than usual. And well, this would explain it. Ito's like, I don't know, Gon, I'm worried. Gon's like, worried? You're jealous. He's like, no, it's not like that. He's like, a little romance is absolutely welcome if that's what makes Alita happy. It's just, well, like you feel like a worried father. And Ito's like, Alita's special on a variety of fronts in ways good and bad. I'm just concerned that she might end up getting hurt. So you see Ito working on a patient. And the patient's like, hey doc, how much longer is this going to take? Oh, so it's the one that Hugo and his pal messed up. And Ito's like, spinal columns are hard to come by these days. I haven't found a good one yet. He's like, damn it, I bet that's why those kids stole mine. Backbone thieves, eh? It's a rising trade. And Ito's like, there must be a black market broker buying up the illegal parts. When the factory doesn't crack down on cyborg parts, dealer crooks like them can thrive. And so Hugo comes down and he's like, your inspection's complete. Thanks again. And Ito's like, sure you don't want a cup of tea? And Hugo's like, thanks, but I've got a lot left on my plate today. See you next time. Gon's like, he's an honest, hard-working kid. You don't find many of them these days. Look on the bright side, Ito. He's like, yeah, you're right. And then the guy that was attacked going, is it just me, or did he sound a lot like the kid who attacked me? And so Alita comes down, she's looking after Hugo's departing form. And Gon's like, there she is. So she's sitting down, she's like, Gon's like, she's got it bad, Doc. And Alita's like, say, Ito, do you think Hugo would ever like a cyborg girl like me? And Ito and Gon share a look and like, hey, kiddo, you don't need to worry about that. That's right, cyborgs are all over this town. They're a fact of life. So then he goes happily skipping outside, and someone goes, hey, kid. And you see some guy with a cross symbol like this with a little hook on the bottom. And he goes, what do you want? And the guy goes, I speak from experience when I say, stay away from her. She's no good. He's like, what? She's a literal Iron Maiden. You see, there was a guy recently, a real ugly son of a gun, who tried proposing to her. He wound up torn to pieces and burned until there was nothing left. And then Yugo's like, shut up, I don't know her, I just stopped by to do my job. And the guy's like, yeah. Oh no, it was one of the guy from the bar that she humiliated. So he goes, I haven't forgotten the humiliation you put me through at the bar, Alita. And I made my name on my utter tenacity. I'll have you reduced to tears soon enough. He takes off. And then you see Ito at night, illuminated by full moon, going, yeah! As he swings his hammer through a guy's skull. And someone runs out front and goes, yeep! And Ito's like, the other one went that way, Alita. Alita's just sitting on a trash can, like, oh. And then the other one comes running at her going, yeah, it's a woman. And he stabs a knife down at her. Like, yeah. Alita's like, no, stop it. And she grabs his hands, turns around, and just literally rips it off of him. And she's like, huh? I was just trying to shake him off. How brittle could he be? And you see that when she got stabbed, the knife just completely bent. And Alita's like, my body can't be scratched with a trinket like that. But human bodies are different. And Ito's like, what happened, Alita? It's like, why'd you let him escape? He was a murderous junkie, Alita. And she's like, sorry, I was simply lost in the sight of the moon. Ito's like, hey. And then she just leaps away and runs off. She's going, I never thought much about it before, but I guess I have to admit my body is artificial. It's not natural. I wasn't born with it all along. I was made to move faster than anyone and shoot plasma, but I wasn't built to love other people. You see her going to one of the tall roofs of the building and just watching the city in just a gorgeous, gorgeous spread. And Alita says, the city is hideous. In a way, it's just like me. An artificial creation, where people live in the cracks between the junk and the machines. But there's no going back to the way it was. It's only thanks to these machines that I'm alive now. I have to live with the machines. And she's thinking, Yugo. I wish I could touch you. I wish I could hold you. So then as she's mourning, she's kind of going like this. And then you see Yugo's back at his thing going, hey pal, need a grease up? It's high quality silicone oil with Teflon. And he uses his axe to cut the guy's head off and remove his spinal cord. And then he goes, who's there? And you see this black guy in a suit, looking very Morpheus-like, going, you're really making a name for yourself, Yugo. Next day you see Alita hanging out with some people, and they're roasting some food, some rats in a fire, and one of them offers one to her, and she's like, oh, no thanks. Oh, so she's waiting outside Yugo's apartment. He's like, where's he been all night, I wonder? And then the guys she's talking to are going, ain't right to leave such a sweet girl waiting at this time of day. That Yugo's quite the ladies, man. Like, was he working all night too? Like, you know him. He wants to get to Zalem. He's been saving up his chips. Little fool. How can he believe it's even possible? Those born down on the earth live their whole lives here. It's an ironclad rule. But he's too young to heed the words of the old and wise. The problem is I hear that he's been making waves with young criminals and shady brokers these days. Rumors say he's doing dangerous, dirty work for big money. It's all quite troubling. Okay, alright, I'm just going to pause for a second. I'm going to try to turn on the other lights just to light up the thing a bit. So I'm just going to pause this and then come back. Give me a second. Alright, I'm back. Lights are on, so it should be hopefully a little brighter in the video now. So Alita's thinking, dangerous, dirty work? So the old man sitting next to her go, you got your work cut out for you, missy. Grab his heart and don't let go. She's just like, yes, sir. It's like, you've got to bring him back to earth and make him wake up for this crazy dream he's got. And Alita's thinking, crazy dream? Is it really that crazy? So you see Mr. Tattoo Forehead sitting on one of the roofs near adjacent roofs thinking, feh. He's like, hey, what's that? So you see that the shady gangster looking bald black guy is dragging Yugo along. And he goes, that looks like Vector. He's the boss of the underworld dealers, the guy who controls the scrapyards market. He's like, oh ho. And then Lee's like, Yugo's like, It's like, what are you doing here? And then Vector pats him on the back and goes, so long, I'm looking forward to your answer. So then Yugo's like, ugh, and then he throws up. And Lee's like, he gave you that much alcohol? Like, hey, mister. And Yugo's like, no, don't. And Alita goes, if you drag Yugo into your twisted world of crooks, you'd better pray to God for forgiveness, because you won't find it from Alita. So Vector just takes off his glasses and just gives her the look. And so Alita takes Yugo into his house. And he's like, ugh, my head's killing me. He's like, here's some water. And that's what you get for drinking. And Yugo's like, ha, I'm not a kid anymore. I can be allowed to have a drink or two. Alita's like, this isn't the way you usually act. Did something happen? And he's like, nah, nothing. And Alita's like, wait, is that creep in the sunglasses messing with you somehow? And then Yugo's like, not even close. He's on my side. But enough about that. Why are you here? Alita's like, I came over to help you. Help you out. For free, of course. He's like, got any other laundry to do? He's like, yeah, thanks. So he flashes back to the previous night. Vector takes the axe and he slams it into the head of the guy that Yugo ripped the spinal cord out of. He's like, Ack! He's like, you didn't have to kill him. And Vector's like, you heard your name. Can't let that kind of info leave the scene to spread. He's like, listen to me, Yugo. If you don't do this job right, you wind up dead. Get in the car. I've got something important to discuss with you tonight. He's like, Vector, where are we going? He's like, 3 years ago, I made you an offer. For 10 million chips, I'll send you up to Salem. That kind of cash takes 10 years to scrape together, but you've only been at it for three, and in 6 months, you'll already have the total. That's incredible. He's like, I'm just too much of a fool to know when to quit. Vector's like, not only are you good at utilizing others, you're bold, you take charge. Above all else, you've got integrity. You understand what I'm saying? I value having you around. He's like, oh, geez, I don't know what to say. So he takes him to Factory Front 242. And then Vector's heading in and he goes, wait. And Yugo goes, wait, this is a factory warehouse. We can't go in there, Vector. And Vector's like, I'm a special case. Keep up, Yugo. So they step inside. They see this vast warehouse. It's like, wow, whoa. There's like all this food. It's the shipment to Salem. So Vector pulls out a bottle of alcohol and takes out 2 glasses. He's like, have a drink with me, Yugo. He's like, this is the real stuff, kid. Nothing synthetic about it. You can't buy this in town. He's like, oh. He's like, yeah. He spits it out. He's like, wahaha. How did you like that? Tastes like Salem. He's like, but it's not just booze. I've got everything here. All the foodstuff harvested from the outer factories' farms gets processed and refined here in the scrapyard, then travels up the tubes to Salem. The only stuff that stays here in this dump is the leftover scraps and garbage. Prior to this point, the Deckman Salem's robot servants handled all of the stocking and shipping process. There was no room for us power players to move in. But that system's going to change in the near future. Hugo's already gotten drunk and he's like, oh? And Vector's like, they're going to start up a new system managed not by the Deckmen, but by local human beings. That's where we come in. It's like, I've already got arranged for 6 different relay routes. It's like, so, like, what did you need to talk to me about? He's like, I'm glad you asked, Hugo. The truth is, I want you to manage one of those very relays. He's like, what, me? He's like, but I... He's like, hey, listen to me. You've done very well in the last 3 years. But what now? You'll go to Salem and then what? Beg for straps in the streets? Is that going to satisfy you? Think about it, Yugo. Instead, we can smuggle a little portion of the goods headed for Salem and make a killing selling them on the black market here. You could live just as luxurious a life as any Zalemite without leaving your home. Think about it. So you see Alita outside just doing the laundry and hanging up the clothes. And he goes, Alita, it's like, do you have any... Yugo asks Alita, do you have any dreams? And he's like, I wasn't hoping to get to Salem to live in luxury. I just wanted to get as high and far away as you can go. I wanted to see the world from a different vantage point. So Alita comes and sits down on the bed next to him and goes, say, Yugo, how much money do you need to go to Salem? He's like, huh? So Alita is thinking to herself, I love the way you look up at the sky, so I just can't tell you to give up on your dream. But at least I hope that I can be by your side, even if it's just fussing over you for now. So you go back to so that night you see Alita going after the criminal that got away. He's like, yeah, it's a woman! He's trying to drive a knife towards her. So Alita just blocks it with one hand, grabs a knife with the other, and severs his head, and then catches it in a bag. And she goes, and that's another 100,000 chips. It's like, 10 million? I could make that in a month. She's just skipping along happily with that. And Ito's like, it's so strange. I used to hate trading in heads for bounties. What in the world changed? And Alita's like, Ito, I've made up my mind. I'm going to join Yugo on his trip to Salem. And Yugo's like, to Salem? She's like, hey pal, feel like oiling up your joints? He's like, I'll take your services, boy. It's like, great. So Yugo and his crew take them over to the point, and he's about to stick the little needle thing into the cyborg's neck. And then Cyborg says, heh, so this is how you've been doing it. Oh, it's what's his face? It's the guy from the bar. Like, don't you think poor little Alita will be so upset if she sees your face on the bounty posters, Yugo? So he grabs the needle and breaks it. He goes, the spine robbers caught red-handed. According to factory law, stealing central nervous systems from the living is more than worthy of a bounty. And then his two associates are like, he's a hunter warrior. He's like, oh, crap. He's like, let's see your face, little Yugo. He's like, I said, take your mask off. So he's digging into Yugo's shoulder with his finger and he's piercing it. He's like, yeah. So one of his other guys goes, let go of Yugo, asshole. And then Yugo goes, no, just get out of here. He's like, eat this. So he swings the axe down. And the guy just blocks it with his arm. And then Al knees the other guy in the gut. And sends him flying up. And he hits the roof above and comes back down. And he's like, yeah! And he pulls out a knife. Oh. God damn. Alright, I don't know if you all actually just heard that, but there was a huge thunder sound from outside. Extremely loud. Scared the shit out of me for a second. So he goes, you're mine. So as the other guy falls down, he slices his head off. And the other associates go running away. Ooh. So as he grabs the head, he sends the knife flying and kills the other associate as well. He's like, bullseye! Clap, clap, clap. He's like, heh. And now, it's like, huh? Ooh, so Yugo takes out some kind of grenade, lights it, like, die, you bastard! And he throws it on him and lights him on fire. He's like, rah! So he punches the wall, and then Yugo takes that chance to escape into the scrapyard. Like, slippery little snake. I'm not worried, though. Revenge is best served cold, not in the heat of the moment. And what better way for Romeo to meet his end than the hands of his sweet Juliet? So you see, Yugo's abandoned all his gear. And he's gone to a telephone booth. He's like, a vector? He's like, what is it, Yugo? He's like, what? You got caught? He's like, a hunter warrior posed as a customer looking for oil. You already killed Van and Tanji. Vector's like, He's like, settle down, Hugo. Look, there's no use crying over spilled milk. Gather up the chips you've earned and bring them to my place. You'll be safe here. He's like, okay. He's like, alright, I owe you one, Vector. So Hugo's like, so, I'm a wanted man now. I was nearly at 10 million chips. Damn, of all the bad luck. He's like, ow. And he sees the wound in his shoulder. He's like, Van. He's like, Tanji. He's like, damn it. He takes off running. He's like, I don't want to die. Not yet. Not until I've at least made it to Salem. And he's like, Alita. I was like, what? Why am I thinking about her now? She has nothing to do with any of this. So he's running through the crowd, knocking people out of his way. And like, ow, watch it, kid. So you see Factory 33 as cross-referencing DNA test results, brain death confirmed, removing from list. So you see the heads of all the people Alita's counting the bounty on. It's like, that'll be 650,000 chips in total. Alita's like, I'm gonna keep saving up so I can go to Salem with Hugo. He's like, say, what is Salem like? So she's asking the bot collecting the bounties. And he's like, I have no comment on such matters. And Hugo's like, good grief. Going to Salem just by paying chips? Where did she hear such nonsense? And then as Alita comes skipping out, he's like, Alita, he's like, have you told him how you feel? And she's like, not yet. He's like, how does Hugo feel about you? She's like, I haven't asked. Ito's like, I'm astonished, Alita. And you're going to follow him to Salem over a connection that weak and uncertain? He's like, but I'm scared. He's like, I understand that. Everyone's afraid to face reality sometimes. When we don't want to do that, we turn a blind eye to it. But you can't just ignore it forever. At some point, there will come a time when you have to stare it down and decide where you stand on it. And she's like, Ito, you wouldn't understand. How can you know how a person living in a metal body feels? And Ito's like, I can't, of course. But I can tell that you're running away from your problem. Whatever happened to the brave, bold Alita that I knew? And she's like, no, I'm not running away. I'm just holding myself back. Because I don't want to hurt Hugo. I suspect that if I express my true feelings to him, I might end up tearing his human body apart. So she's resting her hand on one of the metal bits nearby and she crunches it up. And Ito's just like, I see. And you have a good evening. He's like, well, fancy meeting you here. As a matter of fact, I have good news for you, Alita. So you see Mr. Tattoo Forehead. And Alita saying exactly what I'm thinking, being like, who are you again? He's like, you want to start with introductions? You've forgotten the fearsome Zapan already? That was his name. And he was like, remember from the brawl at the Kansas bar? And she's like, oh, were you one of the faces in the crowd? Oh, the rain is coming down. He's like, he's just super mad. He's like, fine, I'll overlook it just this once. I'm not here to fight after all. He's like, it turns out your dear beloved Hugo is the ringleader of the gang doing all those spine thefts. Alita's like, what did you say? He's like, I'm just about to turn in his information to the bounty list, and if you consider yourself a real hunter warrior, you can't turn a blind eye to that. So the question is, Alita, what now? And Alita's like, Hugo's going to have a bounty? So then I see today's latest bounty updates. Bounty info available here. And you have a zzz, and you see Hugo's face coming up. And it goes, name Hugo. Criminality, vertebral column robber and brain murderer. Arms, fire bottle, body, non-cyborg. Drug usage, none. Note, wounded in the left shoulder. Price, 80,000 credits. So bounties of info is available here where hunter warriors can print out the relevant details. Alright. So, it's almost exactly perfectly 45 minutes for the first 3 chapters, so I will cut it off here before I get into the next few chapters. Alita is, like, honestly, thank you to everyone that recommended Battle Angel Alita to me, because it really is an exceptional manga so far. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I definitely love how Alita's being characterized and how her arc is progressing. I honestly don't know how this arc with Yugo is going to end. I don't know how that's going to make me feel if it ends, because I feel like it's going to end. Like, this is me like just completely speculating because I have no idea what's actually going to happen. But I feel like it's going to end in a tragedy with Yugo being killed by Vector, and then Alita still going up to Salem, possibly just to fulfill Yugo's dream and see what the city is like. But I have no idea if that's how it's going to happen or not. I'm excited to see where it goes. Like I said, next week expect me to do the rest of Volume 2. And then depending on how long the remaining chapters take, I might jump into Volume 3 on that same video. And then do that as well. And then, also expect Vinland Saga next week as well. This week I'll put out the poll to see whether you all would just like me to do volume reviews or just do like a recap video at the end once I'm finished the entire series, to kind of do like a 10-minute video on what my thoughts were, favorite characters, favorite moments, all stuff like that. So try to put out a poll on Twitter sometime this week, kind of gauge what the interest is like on that. But yeah, enjoying the series a lot and looking forward to continuing on with it. So until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.